Hey guys, welcome back. In today's lecture, we're going to talk about planning. Planning your essay, an absolutely essential part of the process of writing your essay in IELTS Writing Task 2. Why is it so important? Well, there are a number of reasons why it's so important. First of all, it can help you to reduce the anxiety you feel, makes you feel more confident about how you go about the writing. It can help you to stay focused on the task requirements so that you get a better score in task achievement. Helps to save time. Although it takes time to write a plan, in the long run we're aiming to actually reduce the amount of time it takes to write the essay. Helps you to think about topic-related vocabulary, thus boosting your score in lexical resource. Can help you to organize your thoughts logically and coherently, thus boosting your score in coherence and cohesion. It can improve your general sense of coherence, again boosting that same score. It can also boost that cohesion. A third point to make here, we will be able to link our ideas much more cohesively if we plan our work. And finally, it helps us to spot little errors. Maybe we make an error in the plan, but when we come to the writing, we will notice that error and be able to correct it. So how do we go about planning? There should be a three-part process to planning. Part one is to identify the question type. We looked at this 2 lectures back, the 4 different question types. So let's see if we can do that here, identify the question types. Some experts believe it is better for children to start learning a foreign language at primary school rather than secondary school. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Remember the 4 different question types: opinion, opinion discussion, discussion, and situation. Which one do you think this is? Well, let's underline the most important language here. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? That is what gives away what type of question we're looking at, which is a discussion opinion question. So now we know the structure of the essay that we need. The second part of the process of planning is to underline the key words so that we stay focused on the task requirements. In this case, I would say that the keywords are better, so we're thinking of comparatives, whether to start learning a foreign language at primary school rather than secondary school. So better, start learning a foreign language, primary school, secondary school. These are the key themes to think about in an essay like this. Helps us to stay focused on those ideas if we underline them. Of course, our advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Very key part. I trust that you'll be able to work out that that is important without underlining it, but we're underlining it here just to emphasize the point. And you can see all of these keywords here. So, this will help us to address all parts of the task, which is an absolutely essential criteria point for achieving Band 7 in task achievement. If you want to score Band 8, the only thing that changes is the word sufficiently. Sufficiently addresses all parts of the task, will allow you to achieve a Band 8. So basically just properly addressing everything. The final part of the planning process can be done in 2 different methods, and it's essentially the planning part. So the first method looks a little bit like this. You think about your body paragraphs only. You do not want to plan the introduction and the conclusion because they shouldn't need any planning. You should know exactly what you're going to do. We know we're going to rephrase the question. We know what our opinion is. We're going to state a plan. You don't really need to plan that part. You would want to plan the body though. So let's think about what we want here. Start with the side you disagree with. Maybe you think it is better to start learning a foreign language at primary school. If that's the case, then you can begin by looking at the disadvantages. the opposite side of beginning to learn a foreign language at primary school. So we'll just quickly do a few notes about what those are. Still learning your own language, there's too much pressure, other subjects are more important, like math, science and sport, maybe a bit more support needed there. And then we move to the side that we agree with, so we can look at the advantages in this case. It's a critical learning period. The child's brain is forming connections. The earlier start gives us more vocabulary, become fluent even more quickly, and would lead to a successful future. Again, we don't really need to write a conclusion, plan, we know what we're going to do here. Now this is one method, and to be honest, I think this is the inferior method. I think there is a superior method for planning the essay, which we're going to look at now. And as I said, we only want to care about the body paragraphs. We're going to focus on those. In paragraph 1, as before, we're going to look at the disadvantages. But the difference with this kind of plan is that we actually plan every individual sentence. That sounds like it would take a long time, but over time, with a lot of practice, it can be done very quickly. So what we do is we look at each individual sentence and we give it a purpose. Now, we're sort of moving forward a bit too quickly here. If you want to know what these letters stand for in a bit more detail, then please go to the coherence and cohesion section of the course and look at building body paragraphs. I'm going to go through this quite quickly here. T essentially is a topic sentence where we just give our main arguments. S is support sentence where we just support the idea. Example for E, second supporting sentence here, a second example. Same down below in the second body paragraph. T, S, S2, E2 and R, which stands for result. What is the result? Essentially what we want though is about 5 sentences for each body paragraph. As I said, when we get to the coherence and cohesion section, we'll be able to look at this in a bit more detail. Today, just showing you the basic steps involved in planning your essay. Part 1, identify the question type. Part 2, highlight the key words. And part 3, actually plan the content of your essay. This entire planning process should be completed within 5 minutes to give yourself 35 minutes for the rest of the essay. Now, the next lecture is going to go into a bit more detail about these time guidelines.